So I thought the next game I was going to play this month was going to be Area 51 on the Sega Saturn, which it was. I played through Area 51 and a video will be coming on that. But I wanted to talk about this game first because I saw it in GameStop and it just caught my eye, and that is White Day, a Labyrinth named school. And the thing that really sold me on it was the back of it. Spine chilling Korean survival horror. That was the selling ticket right there. So what is this game? Let's talk about it. So in White Day, you're going to be following through a first person perspective of our main character. His name is Lee. He wants to go into the school that he just transferred to after hours so he can place a box of chocolates inside the locker of a girl he has a crush on. Now, White Day, if I'm getting correct from what I looked up, it's kind of like a Valentine's Day in Asian cultures. So just think of it like that. It's like a Valentine's Day, but they call it White Day. But Lee soon finds out that the school has more than meets the eye, especially at nighttime. This school has a history of some troubles and turmoils that have taken place inside the school, even death. And you get firsthand encounters of some of the things that have happened within this school. Now, as you're exploring the school, you're going to be running into other students who kind of progress and fill in some story plot holes themselves. And you even see like your crush wandering around in the school. So you kind of have a goal of it's not just getting a box of chocolates in the locker no more. You're trying to make it out this school alive in hopes of hopefully helping some of the other students you may have bumped into along the way and helping them get out, especially your crush. You're trying to find her too. And that kind of leads us into the gameplay loop here. Now, what is the gameplay style of this? And this is where it kind of tricked me. When I heard survival horror, and that kind of gets us to the gameplay loop. What is this game all about? And that's where it kind of tricked me, because when I saw survival horror on the back of the box, I'm thinking Resident Evil, Silent Hill. But no, it's kind of nothing like that. It's more adventure style where I find it more similar to Danganronpa. That's like the last kind of game I kind of played like this. It is not as text heavy and nowhere near as long. This is a very short game that you can finish in like 3 hours. But it kind of has a similar type of play style. Basically, you're going to be in a wing of a school that has 4 wings to it. And you're going to be exploring the halls and classrooms of that wing. And while you're exploring, there could be locked doors that you need to backtrack back to, but there could be a puzzle later on in a further classroom you find that's going to help find a key to unlock that door, so on and so forth. So it has that sort of like Metroidvania, Resident Evil style of having to backtrack and solve puzzles and everything. It's just more heavy on the puzzles and very heavy, very much heavier on the reading aspect, because there are notes and everything that are left around to progress the story and to give you a history on what this school is. This school used to be back in the war days. I believe they said it was like a hospital back during that time, and then they turned it into a school. And you start seeing these notes that tell a history of some horrible incidents that have taken place in this building and kind of the history of it and why it is now haunted, why there are ghosts and all these spirits and stuff going on in the school. So you're trying to explore the school while uncovering the secrets of it. The school is pretty much all dark, but you can turn on lights. You have a lighter that can guide your way into dark classrooms, and you kind of have to use darkness and light as a tool in the school, because roaming the halls are janitors. It's like, hey, it's just a janitor. Who cares about that? Well, they're your main threat of the game, because if a janitor sees you sneaking around in the halls after hours, they beat you to death. Now, there's a reason why they do this, but I don't want to do any story spoilers or anything. But your main objective is you have to try to get through the school and explore it all while avoiding the janitors. So it's actually pretty easy to avoid them. Like I said, they can't really see in the dark. So if you have the lights off, it's harder for them to see you. If you're crouching down and hiding behind something, they can't see you at all. So if one does see you, they'll blow their whistle and start chasing you, and they'll try to beat you down, but they can be easily lost by just running into a classroom, turn the lights off, run in circles, and hide behind a desk, and they'll lose sight of you. It's pretty kind of corny how you can get rid of them. But yeah, that's kind of like the main gameplay loop. solving puzzles, unlocking doors, working your way through the school, all while dodging the janitors and unlocking all the little stories that, like the dreadful stories of some of the things that happen in this school. And you can go through a whole playthrough and actually miss them all. There's, man, I think it's in the teens of how many different type of ghost stories and stuff that are in that school and ghosts that are haunting the building. But if you don't read up on them, you won't know anything about them if you don't find the little notes and everything. But overall, the story did capture me. I wanted to see it to the end, and this game does have multiple endings with a true ending. I did not get the true ending on my playthrough, so I went through and watched them all, and there are some pretty big differences in all of the playthroughs. Very different from mine, the true playthrough, but it did keep me engaged to want to keep exploring and figuring out like what's going to happen at the end of this story. And I'm not normally a big like visual novel guy, even though I wouldn't really classify this as that visual novel heavy, but it was still a really good time. The puzzles weren't too over the top and too hard. The most annoying thing of the game were the janitors, just because it got, even though they got easy to get by at first before I started, I would just sit there and wait for them to walk through the hall and get past me, and it just would take forever. So I just gave up on that and said, I'm just running by them and then I'll lose them. And it worked out for me. There was really no fear in the game. It was supposed to be survival horror, and there really was none, just because the graphics aren't that great and there's nothing really threatening. And there are like ghost encounters in it that can hurt you, so I won't really spoil it, but nothing scary. There was nothing scary with the game. Just the most intriguing thing was reading through the different events and ghost stories that happened throughout the school. So other than that, I mean, for 25 bucks going out for it on a whim, it's still cool to have it, and it was cool to play through it. And maybe one of these days I can play through it and try to get one of those different endings and see like what you got to do to get it, because I do not know what you have to do to get one of the multiple endings, but it does have a bunch, so we'll see. So what do you guys think? Have you guys played through anything like this, or have you played through White Day? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, we're rolling on, baby. There's still more time in October and more games to beat, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.